Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is a show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Today is going to be really interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to possibly have a two-parter, maybe not, depends on how things go. I'm going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm also going to try to talk about Batman just a little bit. I do know that we still have some figures missing, so I am taking that into account. So please bear with me if I say something and it's like, yo, I believe that this could be the bomb diggityest thing ever, and then we find out there's something better, and whatnot, so just bear with me, okay? Because I have part of the information. I don't have all of it. Now there is some things that we don't quite have yet. Anyway. So let's go ahead and get started. You may hear dings and whatever stuff in the background. Pretty much I need to deal with my phone. I had to buy a new phone because my battery was crapping out at me at 60%, and it just got annoying. So I finally, after an hour and a half, got the SIM card to work, and I haven't made a call yet. It just said SIM card verified. So after I record, I'm going to test it out. Alright, so a couple of you might be saying, Dark Logos, is Turtles awesome? Yeah. Turtles really is okay, and that's my problem. It's okay. If WizKids had kept going towards this, yo man, it's balanced type mindset, I would have been a little bit happier. Yes, you still have to deal with the Unimind silliness, but if they took the time to be like, yeah man, reasonable stats, but guess what, we come back and we have a heavy control, then I think these guys would have had a better place in the meta, instead of welcome to me not offending my locals. And we all know, we all do it. We all play teams where it's just like, I've been a little too meta lately. Sorry, Pat. I know that's not in your vocabulary. I look at it as slang. Real briefly, shout outs to Pat and Aaron on 2 Clicks from KO. Their last episode, 100% gold. You want to get better, listen to Pat. He's the E.F. Hutton of our time. But meta slang, homie. Meta is slang. In this community, it's a slang. It's a noun in a adverb. Yeah, it could actually. I've probably used it as a noun, an adjective, and an adverb throughout the history of this show. Maybe even a couple of pronouns here as well. But it's slang. We just developed it into slang. So again, he mentioned me in polite terms, so I'll mention him in polite terms. I don't really have a disagreement of meta being a noun. And I don't have a disagreement of really how he sees it, because I think we both see it in the same way. It's just the usage of the word. But I could bring something up, but I'm not. The linguistic person in me is going to shut down for a little bit. Let's sort of just skip, and I'll just I'll sort of cover some things as they become interesting. So you got Leonardo. First off, he has that throw across the screen trait. When Leonardo hits an adjacent character after resolutions, you may place that character into a square adjacent to Leonardo. Then use Force Blast, targeting that character at no cost. That's not bad. but you have to hit. And you got a 10 attack, homie. That's really not good. This could be potentially a really good positioning figure if his attack was not a 10. If his attack was an 11 base, this actually would probably be a serious figure that you could possibly use. But unfortunately, the answer is no. So we're going to just sort of skip over the rest of the Ninja Turtles because they are really not good. Then we're going to go to the Shredder illusion. You're going to need this for the Shredder. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is for the Shredder that you are going to buy. So yeah. Rock Soldier, amusing, but no. The various foot soldiers, they are fun. Buy the ones that you want. Now I know some of you again might say, but Dark Logos, are they metas? And I would say, no, they really aren't, but they're fun. And they have a place, potentially. I just don't think right now is their time. So, yeah. Alright, keep it going. We have Rocksteady, and you're really just playing him if you're looking for a cheap animal. That's how I look at it. You're looking for a cheap animal. Same for Bebop. It's a cheap animal. All right. Now we have moving sort of down the line, and I hate to say it, like majority of these characters, you look at them and you just like cry inside. Yeah, you just cry inside. Because you want them to be good because they're your childhood. And they're not. Okay, so you have a foot elite. He has the hammer. He starts with leadership, and that's the main reason you have him. And he gets a free move up to 3 squares in a direct path. So you get Canadian sidestep, which is now a turn. I'm sorry, Canada. I guess people just like to cheat up there. Alright. So, anyway, I think it's going to be interesting that you potentially could use it as an army modifier type character, but it's okay. I like the Dynamite guy just because of how he looks. So yeah, that's how I look at it. But anyway, he has the energy explosion, yeah. So I like that too. So we're going to keep going. Because again, majority of these characters are not good. Sadly, they're not good. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Shredder. The pretty much this is what you're trying to get the entire time. Charge, 12 attack, 17 defense, 4 damage, and dom. Just the stats alone automatically just makes the rest of this set look like crap. But I'm trying to give WizKids. We're at Neutral WizKids. I'm trying to be more positive. We're at Neutral WizKids. I'm trying to be more positive. All right, so here's the thing: you're going to pay for Illusionary Double. You don't think twice about that. You're going to pay for it, okay? Because you're going to have an infinite amount of illusionary doubles come onto the screen and functionally just body block for you, attack for you, freaking Kajimbo Bebo Bop Bitsu for you, okay? Add a little Naruto Jutsu on top so that it's actually done properly. and then bam, there you go. You're just going to be Kajibujin everywhere. That's a phrase. I've made it up. That, you know what? If I can actually just say it properly, if you just bring in Pogs or like additional guys, we might as well just call it like Shadow Clone, like you or Kajibun, whatever the hell. It's been a long time since I've actually cared about Naruto. It's been several years. I read the manga and I cried at the end, and then they bought in Boruto, which just ruined everything. So here's the thing: does retro mutagen matter? Not really. Does Game Boss flashing red matter? Sorta. It says the first 2 times each game Shredder would be KO'd. Instead, turn him back to click number 6, then heal him 1 click if an opposing character has 1 or 2 characters on it. Otherwise, heal him 2 clicks, protect a pulse wave. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is broke. This is broke. Now he doesn't have the little Shredder I walk up to you and stab you in your gut and watch you bleed slowly effect as the Shredder chases do. But this is strong. Pretending otherwise is naive. Okay, if we look at a majority of our ID cards as they are right now, 80 points is a pretty sweet spot to be. You can't quite get the all-new Wolverine, but you can summon in Cyclopses all day. So, yeah, like, this is not a bad spot to be in. So, 4 damage up front with a charge, and you can freaking Shadow Clone as a free action. Yeah, that's stupid. Because, like, really, I want you to think about this. I charge, attack you, I'm right adjacent to you, and I just be like, hit that Naruto music, and Shadow Clone you, and then the Shadow Clone stabs you. Does not matter what the stats of the Shadow Clone was. I didn't even talk about it. Why? Because it doesn't matter. It can have a freaking 8 attack. It doesn't matter. I start with Change of Mastermind. Yeah, the existence of that Shadow Clone does not matter. So, this is broken. So you buy the Shredder, you buy the Shadow Clone, you pretty much just do that. You don't do anything else, like, realistically. Alright, so let's keep moving on through the set. Then we get to Hanatan the Rat King. Now, some of you might also say, like, Dark Logos, he's Kajibujin rats all over the place. And I know there's a Naruto fan that's like, I can't like Dark Logos anymore. I'm feeling your psychic energy already from the past when I'm recording this. I recognize you and I feel your pain, homie. I feel your pain. Yeah, this is dumb. This thing is dumb. So let's look at why it's dumb and why I'm going to probably abuse it if I ever get one. So it says, hold to the rat layer. At the beginning of the game, place a hole marker in any square, at least 5 squares away from a starting area. Guess where I'm at, kids? Guess where I'm at if I go first. At the beginning of your turn, if no character occupies the square in which the hole marker, with the hole marker, and less than 3 giant rat bystanders are on the map, generate a rat bystander in a square adjacent to the hole. Now, some of you may already know what I would do with this, but some of you may not know all the potential abuses of this. Rat King has other powers. They don't matter. It's all about this dang rat. Alright, so first off, these giant rats are standard size. Goodness. Give me a standard size Pog. They're 8 attack and 1 damage. Okay. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at this stage. They can be 5 attack and 0 damage. Does not matter. The biggest thing comes in is you try to hide from me. I can see you got a secret base forming. I can see that you're trying to put up some barrier and protect yourself. Guess what, man? I'm going to move these rats to be the most annoyingest thing possible. And if you kill them, I'm going to colossal retaliate your butt so bad. Not only that, there's like Secret 6 that you can do, or what, Suicide Squad. It's not Suicide Squad. It's something 6. And if there's exactly 6 of them, you get bonus to your characters that are stupid. Welcome to Pogland. May I take your order? You want rat with that? Do you want the tail as well? Okay, because I got a tail for you. Hey man, you have a cool little symbiote over there. Oh, you do. So I'm gonna you putting your symbiote marker right there. Oh, okay. I'm gonna put my rat hole right adjacent to your symbiote, and then automatically when I spawn my giant rat, it's going to be on top. Now you're going to say, but Dark Logos, the rat can't pick up the symbiote. And I'm like, I know that, but neither can my opponent unless they kill it. And you know who's waiting when they kill it? Sutter or Carnage. One of the two. So my opponent now has to kill my rat, then TK the character that they want to pick up the symbiote, and then proceed to pick up the symbiote. That's 3 actions. You better be packing the leadership. Okay, so yeah, these rats, the rats in the hole is really what's abusive. Because you can set up all sorts of stupid stuff. Because you're like, oh yeah, man, I know when I alpha you, my main concern is that you don't use support with Lockjaw. And I got rats to ensure that. There's tons of little things that you can do. It's like, oh, hey, man, you're on my force. Every friendly character on my force has mystics. Due to stupid reasons, because I'm playing the teleporter or something. Or whatever. So, yeah, and they're standard size, so they can carry tiny characters. Which, there are an abundance of tiny characters that are just shenanigans in Modern and in Golden Age. That you're just like, yeah, introduce micro taxis. Better than microaggression. So there you go. Alright. Now we got Donatello in the super rare slot. I'm only bringing him up because he's okay priced and he has prob and he has 11 attack and charge in the dolphin symbol, which gives him a little bit more mobility than your standard Ninja Turtle. So I like that. But unfortunately, they're not the best. It's not the best Donatello that you're going to get. Okay. So anyway, but they're okay. So yeah. All right. So we keep rolling down. Leonardo is okay. So yeah. It's okay. The tail Raphael. It's not useful. They need bigger ranges. Tail Michelangelo is actually decent because he gives you improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering, which is actually a big deal. So, Tails Michelangelo, I'll give it a benefit of the doubt and say, like, yeah, this is good. Now, I will also make an addendum. Tail Raphael can be good with the Turtle Van. That's it. I think giving more defense to the Turtle Van is always good. Alright, now let's talk about Alopex. Alopex, we needed Alopex last year. We don't need Alopex now. The other thing I feel is the biggest thing I feel is a problem with Alopex is the attack at being a 10. Alopex needed to be an 11 attack. And I know some of you want to be like, but man, Dark Logos, that just only ensures that this is more stupid. And I would say, yeah, it would. Because I feel like that would be a set seller. Not only that, to course correct some of the stupid figures that we have in the game right now. And I think this could have actually been potentially a Unimind annoyance. Not a killer, a Unimind annoyance. I think that with everything that Unimind has to go through right now, and then being forced to be more defensive, that if you do land an attack and he starts missing, it creates a problem, or better yet, you're forcing him to use Perplex, which opens him up to Outwit. And that is a huge deal. Or you're forcing him to use Stealth when he uses Perplex. So there are some very, very interesting interactions. If Alapex just had one more in his attack, he would be great. Late dial charge flurry, that's actually sort of interesting, but not really useful. And late dial prop, it's actually sort of interesting, but not really useful. Up front, Alapex is a B+ character that wanted to be valedictorian, but couldn't quite pull it off by doing well in Spanish class. That's pretty much what Alapex is. In Golden Age, the sucker could have potential when you start dealing with problems with people crit missing and stuff like that. So, yeah, this is. Initially, I was hyped for it, and now I'm really not. So there we go. I know people are going to be like, "Hey, Krang, he comes back. He's 130 points. Play him." I would say Krang doesn't really do much but summon in IDs. And he doesn't even summon in the ones that are high points. So why am I playing him? It hurts for me to sort of say that. It really does. But Krang really isn't that great. We're not getting the second coming of Krang with this. What we are getting is a okay Krang, a okay robot, and an okay TMNT villain. That's really it. We're getting a TMNT version of Unimind without the perplexes and the pop-offs. But functionally, that's what it is. It's a TMNT version of Unimind. Alright, now, I know some of you would say, hey, what else is in the set that you might think is good? And I actually, I have a soft spot for something. And you all are going to be like, what, really? I'm like, yeah, really. Also, I know some of you are going to say, like, well, what do you think of the chases? And I'm going to say, I really don't think they're worth covering. I really don't. Once they decide to come in at 100 points, they functionally lock themselves out of the game. They don't do enough at 100 points to really, in my opinion, be valid. And that's the real talk, this realest talk that I can give you on that. So, where is my heart lying? My heart is lying in the fast forces, because I believe the fast forces potentially can be abusive. It's that B+ meta that in good hands can be an A, and it would take some additional elements for it to be S. Martial artist has to rise again, sort of like insert joke here. It's funny the first few times, but after a while it really requires some work to make that come off really well. Alright, so let's look at it. Why do I find these things interesting? So first off, we have this continue trait. Pretty much each of the turtles start the game with a quarter token. So if you play 4 of them, you have 4 quarter tokens. When the characters would be KO'd, remove a quarter token from any friendly character, including himself, and instead turn him to click 2. If you do, your opponent scores 25 points, protect the pulse wave. So if they get KO'd, they can remove a quarter off of another one and keep themselves alive. Now, some of you would say, but Dark Logos, why is that a good thing? Let's sort of look at it. And I think this is where WizKid sort of does itself justice and sort of doesn't. There are 2 turtles that stand out from first click. The number 1 is Leonardo. Number 2 is Raphael. Michelangelo and Donatello are okay. Michelangelo getting flurry with no action, unless he has action tokens. That's bad. Donatello having Outwit and Passenger 3, but only carry TMNT, does not help you in the long run. It's useful for this team, but it's really not, because you can't attack out of after action or summon ID cards after action. So that's a thing. Alright, so you could argue a use for Donatello, but realistically you would want 2 fast forces to play 2 Leonardos and 2 Raphaels. And I know some people would argue but hey, wouldn't I just farm these characters over and over again? And I'm like, yeah, you could. But if you find a good martial arts theme team or something that's really interesting to put them on, you could have 150 to 200 points of these Ninja Turtles, and they're really hard to keep off the board. And I think that's a really big deal. Now, I know some people would say but hey, Dark Logos, Michelangelo comes back on click 11. And I'm like, okay. on click 2 with 11 attack. And I would say, okay, but guess what, man? There's nothing saying I can't use support on these characters. There's nothing saying I can't call in a Wolverine ID card and then heal to click 1. So these characters are deceptively good. Deceptively good. Because without a healing penalty, yeah, there's no reasons not to play these. And definitely if you can double up and figure out a really good strategy of incorporating Raphael and Leonardo. Leonardo gives you leadership, and so he automatically has upfront value. So I like it. The Shredder from this set is okay. I really just think it's okay. I don't think it's something that anyone really plays. Let's go on to the Mudman. Mudman says to the Jonathan Pog, hold my beer. Because it's just way better. It's more survivable. It doesn't help you against Shredders, but really what does these days. And you're able to come in and just say, like, hold up, wait. Shredder, you ping me. I'm dead. But I come back and now you're stuck. And I think that's a huge issue where people are going to have to deal with it. So I see people trying to make multiple Mudmans. I could see these fast forces just being bought for the Mudmans, which is sort of silly, but it's possible. Coming in at 20 points, it does not have a bad price point. So there's that. I would also argue. My phone would act right. I would also argue that we could, take additional steps and ask ourselves a couple of questions. Number one, can we get more creative with our builds? And then the second thing is, does Turtles offer enough for us to be happy with the game state? And I would argue Turtles offers us enough for us to continue having fun with the game. And I think that is the bigger deal. That it allows you to have fun. If you're trying to, how can I put it? If your goal is to try to win Origins with Turtles, I think it would require a lot more than. It would definitely require a lot more than what we have right now for you to use any of the Turtles that I looked at. The Shredder, I don't know. That Shredder is good. That from the main set. I mean, Kaji Bambutsu all over the place. That, it's woo. That I see people having problems with that. Again, how do you turn that into a tournament winning effect? That's a different story. I think that is a really good question. All right, so tell me what you think about this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move on and start talking about Batman. Now, again, I'm going to say this. I'm trying to be more positive. Does Batman, the animated series, get me excited? Not really. Does it get me motivated to try to play heroclix in that sort of setting? Yes. Does the current state of clicks make me a little sad when I look at this set? Yes, and I think that's my problem. Is that if I look at the current state of clicks, I would prefer that these figures were just a little bit stronger. Now, again, I know some of you are going to be like, Dark Logos, it's not broken, aren't you going to celebrate? And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually happy that this is a balanced set. It's a balanced set for Sealed. But there's an underlying question that's always there. And the underlying question is this. At what stage do you say to the game, like, look, we want you to play the new stuff, and we know that it is close to being as competitive as the old stuff, but it's not quite there. And I sort of wish that they would have cracked open what I would argue is that 0.5 model, where they give us something in between, something that would help us sort of bridge into what they have planned. So it's challenging is good enough, and when the new stuff is unveiled, the stuff has a place, and as the old stuff is getting sunsetted a little bit, so that players have, options. Or better yet, just saying, like, look, we knew we were going to introduce this element in the game, and we made bets that these 10 figures were going to be dominant, and now we're going to start introducing things that are challenging to it or moving into the next phase. So I think they may potentially be starting to move in that direction, but who knows? I do think WizKids is getting better. That's how I'm going to put it. So, all right, let's do this. Batman, is he good? Yes. Is he going to show up on teams? No. It's not. You're going to say, but why? Because, look at his keywords. Batman Family, Gotham City Detective. It's not happening. The moment that they broke up Gotham City and made it Gotham City and Gotham City Underworld, yeah, you're going to have problems. Is this a good Batman? Heck yeah! Really good Batman. Is he going to change sealed games? Yes, he is. 2 Batmans is a game changer. So, yeah, Batman. Pro Batman. He's good. He's B+. Clayface Batman. Is he good? He's okay. He's not bad. And I know you're going to say, but hold on, wait. He's stealth. He's outwit. He's 4 range. He's smoke cloud. He has shape change. It succeeds on a 4 through 6. And he gets an identity token. And you play 5 points for a hidden identity revealed. When Clayface would be KO'd, roll a d6. Add the number of the identity tokens on the result of a 6. Plus, instead of KOing Clayface, replace him with Clayface number 56 on click 6. Is that good? Maybe. Depends on the situation. Should I build around it? No. Not at a 45, not at 50 points. You're functionally just looking at 50 points. Now, the part that actually could be beneficial is corporate espionage. Clayface does not count for or against a theme team. So he turns into a glorified pog. So, yes. That has potential. Okay. That part has a lot of potential. So that's something that we're going to have to think about. Is that going to be an issue? Now the problem that I have with sort of going back with Clayface real briefly, 4 range, and I know his outwit's going to be 6, but he's really just sitting on your team until he activates, and I really don't like that concept. I would prefer that you could be a little bit more active with him or proactive with him. But again, I feel like it's again, this is the B+ set. Robin, nobody's playing that. If this was 2 years ago, this Robin would be broken. Not anymore. We have too much cheapo perplex. We just have too much cheapo perplex. The Joker at 30. Again, if this was like 2 years ago, this would be good. But 30-point prob. Oh gosh. Like classic me. Oh gosh, he offers some stuff. So let's look at the special power. Does it smell funny to you, Bats? Smoke cloud. So yeah, smoke cloud up front. Free, make a close attack target an opposing character occupying his smoke cloud marker, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, give a hit character an action token. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now the question is how are we going to manipulate the smoke cloud markers? That's the question. And then the next question is how are we going to get these suckers around? If you can solve those 2 things, then yeah, this is going to be great. But again, keywords. Keywords matter right now. You have 2 crappy keywords, but gosh, that smoke cloud is really tasty. So yeah. Poison Ivy, 40 points perplex. Has protected poison. No. It's not good. It's not good. Suited Henchman. Yeah, like again, doesn't count for or against theme. Do you need more ID cards at a cheaper point cost? Do you need Empower? Yeah. Like, hell, if you need any of the powers, I think it's great. You would preferably want to roll a 6. Because I think that's the Empowers is the most functional thing that it does. You can make an argument for a sidestep range combat expert, but no. Next up is Alfred. Alfred's actually good. Now, I know some folks will be like, what? He's actually good? Like, yes, Alfred is actually good, and here's why. He gives us enhancement. Push him one click, he gives us empower. Push him another click, he gives us support. He has all the utility that you need to play him. And if you play multiples, probably no more than 3. It gives you some really good upfront beginning game advantages. If you get hit with energy explosion, you're on support, so you can start healing up. He does have a special power that gives him sidestep when an adjacent friendly character named Batman is given a move action after resolution. You may place Alfred adjacent to that Batman, which doesn't really stop him from being played in multiples, and you functionally just moving a bunch of Alfreds. So that is another thing. Leslie Tompkins gives you support for 15 points with 11 attack. That's good. When Leslie Tompkins uses it to target a character with the Batman family keyword, you may roll a d6 if the result of that roll is less than the target's current click number. Increase the result of support roll to heal by +1. That's good. 15 points, Gotham City. That's really good. That's really going to help Gotham City keyword. Let's keep going. We're going to talk about Mr. Freeze since we got his ID card. 75 points, Batman enemy. 2 cold, hero, outwit, but only target characters with action tokens. And if the target has 2 action tokens, you may choose an additional power. It's not that good. You could work with Cat Principled really well, but nah. Alright, we have a ninja, but no. I'm really not feeling it. Okay. Commissioner Gordon at 35 points is okay. Yeah, it's okay. We're going to keep going down. Yeah, alright. So, I'm going to say real briefly, I want to like Selena Kyle. I believe Selena Kyle is good if and only if you can find a way of bringing her in and making it so you don't lose 40 points. And I think that's part of the problem, is that I don't see any way of playing her that doesn't just hurt you in the end. So I would best by saying, like, just avoid her for right now until we get a better grasp of, like, yeah, do this, do that. Don't do this with her. So that's how I look at it. Okay, Batman Beyond, because that's my boy. Running shot, psychic blast, 3 damage, voice of experience trait. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose one. Blaze Claw's Fangs, energy explosion, incapacitate, steal energy. Batman Beyond can use the chosen power until your next turn. I know pick a power is sort of sitting on the side, but that's good. That's legitimately good. No one's playing Darwin right now. 100 points, a little steep, but I like it. Is it again? Is it super, competitive? I'll meet you partial on this moment, Pat. Is it competitive? I give it a B-. I give it a B-. The 6 clicks right now are too easy to just get past. If you have one more click at 100 points, take off the end dial energy shield. Just make that flat. Take off the end dial perplex. And give me another click. Even if that click is just stats with no powers. I'll take it at 100 points. Yes, I would take it at 100 points. And I know some people would say it's like, but that's far worse or whatever else, and I just have a naked dial with nothing on it. And my point is that for 100 points for that 7th click, he now puts himself in a category where he's a lot harder to kill. Like, there's only a few characters that we can see right now that could one-shot him. And so that's why I would prefer if you had one more click. Alright, so he would also benefit from Peace Machine as well. So that's another reason why. Alright, so let's keep going. Riddler is cute, but I don't think he's good enough. Definitely with us having the other Riddler in play. Clock King, again, it's another like, oh, we're trying to be cute. I don't think that it is a great figure. It's okay. Renee Montoya, Alfred took your job. He functionally did. I know some folks will be like, but look, I got PD. And that is interesting. But then we also have Commissioner Gordon that really is much better in the point range for doing what Renee Montoya does. So unless you can do something with her special power, I really don't see much that you can do with Renee Montoya. Oh, man. This Alfred could be broke. And I know that sounds weird when I say that, but it actually could be. 25 points with I Always Believed in You, Bruce. Perplex. Unique modifier when Alfred uses it to target a friendly character with a Batman keyword. After choosing the combat value, you may roll a d6. If the result is less than the target click number, you may instead modify the chosen combat value by +2. Then you have, if Alfred is adjacent to a character named Batman, modify both of their defenses by +1. So, functionally, you could potentially cap a Batman's defense by +3 if you get lucky. +2 at a minimum. And there's other cool things that you can do. You can potentially get your damage increased by 2 if you get lucky. There are tons of Batmans in Golden Ages that would just love that Perplex. And at 25 points, having Sidestep and Batman Ally, that's good. That's really good. So I don't see any downside to playing this figure except for the fact, again, keywords. Like, you don't really have keywords that are going to help you. So let's move on. Let's talk about Commissioner Barbara Gordon real quick, because she's going to help out the Popos. So she has special power, Incapacitate Power. Friendly characters with the police keyword within range can use improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain this turn. This can be good in the long term. Leadership and enhancement, again, 35 points. So, again, Renee Montoya, you got outdone in your own class, in your own rarity. You got outdone by another character, just completely outdone. So this is something I would actually have WizKids look at. Like, why is Commissioner Barbara Gordon so much better than Renee Montoya, and they're the same rarity? I get a leadership and enhancement, plus I get PD versus just getting an enhancement in PD. Barbara Gordon is 5 points more, but I doubt just adding a leadership on there bumped up the cost 5 points. Okay? So I think there's something to look at there. Harvey Dent. I don't like it. I know he allows you to fight Mastermind, but we really don't have a huge Mastermind problem right now. Maybe in the future he'll be good. We got Mr. Freeze again, but he's just okay. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, this is the trait and the powers, and it's just like, you got to look at the stats too. Like, the stats are not that good. Alright. I wanted Lockup to be a little bit better, but he's not. Maxi Zeus or Maxi Zeus could be good. I know we're getting the first example of autonomous or whatever, so that's nice. And you can up their damage by being on your top clicks. But yeah, you could just as easily just get screwed. So that's another way I just look at it. But anyway. But let's go on to. I wanted Maxi Zeus to be a little bit better, but he's okay. Let's go to Scarecrow, because Scarecrow's actually has the potential to be good. But unfortunately, he needs to have had his special power and his stealth flip-flop. So the Frozen with Fear is really good. Because it says stealth, you get stealth free. Choose a character occupying one of smoke cloud markers. Character can't use willpower. That character gains immobile until your next turn. Now, normally we have immobile on objects, so they can't be moved, placed, carried, or anything like that. But now to apply that effect to characters, I gotta say that's a bit bold. A bit daring, a little bit spicy, adding some flavor in there. Get some sriracha sauce on your noodles, okay? So, this is a good step forward. It introduces a concept that we've seen before, but in a new way. What we actually needed is we need it earlier so we can play around with it. Now, if it went through testing and there was like, yo, man, this is a little too strong, then yeah, I can see how that's an issue. I am fully willing to put like flip-flop plunged into nightmares with the positioning of Frozen with Fear. And plunged into nightmares gives you exploit weakness and free choose a character occupying one of the markers that can't use willpower. That character gains battle fury until your next turn. I like it. So yeah. So you can activate both free smoke and paid smoke. So I like it. I just think this is one of those things like we're getting better. Getting a little bit better. Maybe tweak the positioning a little bit. Or even if you alternate the positioning between the stealth and the special movement power, I think we could have had something here. Oh, man. The penguin generating the suited henchman is like, yeah, okay. That's fine. I'm not stressed about it, but it's not. I'm not gonna write home about it. The dual dial Batman, yeah, it's okay. I would want to see the sculpt for it, and that's about it. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. Let's sort of scroll down a little bit. Let's look at J-Man, because this potentially could be nice. J-Man for 50 points is probably going to be a really good boon for future because he has leadership, heroclix, but only to modify an attack value of a friendly character. So 50 points leadership plus modifying attack value. I think that that's pretty good. He has some potential. Unfortunately, I think most of the characters you would play him with are Kingdom Come. So, another Poison Ivy who's Kajin Bujitsu all over the place. I know I'm getting worse as I say it. That is part of my own internal joke on you, the listener, and also at the other time I'm too tired to even try to attempt to say it properly. You have this special power which says you owe Mother Nature a big debt, and I'm going to see that you pay it. Smoke cloud. When removing her smoke cloud markers from the map, you may generate a pheromone mushroom, bystander, max 3, in one unoccupied square that had a smoke cloud marker. Free. Remove a pheromone mushroom, bystander from the map. Okay. Why are these things interesting? Okay, number one, they're 10 attack mind control with 3 defense and 0 damage. Number two, they would have a base range of 6 from range. I think it's minimum 6, or it's either 6 or 4 for mind control. It's probably 4 with mind control. So I can see that being interesting. Next, it forces you to use Poison Ivy a little bit more creatively and where you put her smoke cloud, and not just using it to give yourself stealth. So that is another thing I think is interesting. Did we really need this version of Poison Ivy? Not really. But is somebody going to try to play Mario Brothers or something? Yes. And if somebody out there is a Pog maker, I would like to see the Pog of the Mario mushroom with these stats. You can pick the level up mushroom or the get big mushroom. Either or is great. Or just a drugged out Mario holding a mushroom. I would probably buy that Pog as well. Alright, let's keep going. Really quick, Roland Daggert potentially could be good. With his CEO and shareholder of Daggert Chemicals trait. I mean, special power. I just don't know. I think that just saying, like, choose an adjacent friendly character, that character can use shape change until your next turn. That's nice. That's really nice. My problem is like, how are you going to integrate that? Because it doesn't really apply to him. So he also is able to generate the 5-point suited henchman too. So I would say, like, Roland Daggert, again, we have this problem. You're in the same category rarity as Penguin, and you sort of just pooped on Penguin's day. You're a way better version of the similar characters. Way better character. For less points on top of that, so yeah. Again, WizKids, this is me trying to... I'm being nicer. I'm being nicer. This is better than a poo emoji with the cherry on top. It definitely is better. Okay, we're getting better. We can be better than how we are now. I'll say that. We can be better. Okay. Next up is Talia al Ghul is okay. Like, I think that could be fun, but again, getting it to trigger. It's getting stuff to trigger. You know, it's like, ooh, 45-point prob. Look at me. I have sidestep and stealth. Look at me. I have psychic blast. But only target characters occupy unhindered terrain. Look at me. I don't have improved targeting, ignores hindering. Yeah. So, yeah, that's not good. But... Oh, no, never mind, she does. I completely glossed over that. I looked straight at the Psychic Blast, so never mind. Overall, Talia's okay. She's okay. Ra's al Ghul, it's okay. But you get ninjas. Okay, so the Kajin Bujitsu is, man, these suckers are great. Like, we're getting a lot of little Pog generators, and they're not stupid Pogs. Like, the thing I like about most of these Pogs is that they can work as a reasonable backup. They're not just like, hey, look at my Carnage Pog. Look how OP this sucker is. I paid 0 points for the last 6 of these I made. But yeah, these are good Pogs. They're balanced Pogs for being 0 point Pogs. So I really do like them. This Ninja Pog is really good. So yay, balance. Which is part of the problem. Anyway, let's keep going. Wonder Woman, she needs work. Again, this is another one of those situations like, alternate the dial for me. Give me charge up front, then sidestep, then charge, or 2 clicks of sidestep and then like end dial a charge or something. A little bit better than this. Just a little bit better than this. Yeah, I can't fully complain. I think she's okay. I just think she's an okay Wonder Woman. Superman, same thing. I think he is a okay Superman. He gets into position with the hypersonic speed, does his duty, and then he starts slugging things out. I think that's a good representation of a base Superman. I don't think that, this is the world of cardboard speech Superman. I don't think that represents... This definitely doesn't represent that Superman. So, yeah. Nightwing is okay. I really mean that is, at 50 points, it's okay. Sidestep, leap, climb. If Nightwing has 2 extra tokens, he can make an attack. I like that. But other than that, I feel there's problems. But being able to double attack on a turn, I think that is huge. You functionally could just perpetually attack. So at 50 points, this could be a really good piece, but I don't see most people utilizing it. Flash at 75 points. I want to like this, but I can't when I have a 45-point Flash who's functionally just as good stat-wise. You see, and that's my problem. Like, yes, Elseworld Flash is a shorter dial, but when the stats are way too similar, I would go for cheaper. There's nothing in the trait that really makes me super excited or weak in the knees for it. Alright, we got, oh gosh, John Stewart. Oh, my eyes. These stats, man. These horrible stats. Okay, let's go into it. The trait, alright. Let's be honest about this trait. It has potential, if you have a bunch of these characters, to potentially just take off a token from one of these characters. I get it. But when you look at these stats, you're like, really? Do I really want to? Do I really want to field this? Green Lantern's Power Ring, choose one, improve targeting, destroys blocking. This is actually good, because if you pick this, Darwin can't do crap to you. The rest of these, not well, close combat expert and range combat expert. This is the only, like, this is your only little cannon. Like, not having running shot really hurts this Green Lantern, but I digress. Giant Reach 3, which again is something that Darwin can't ding you on, but I don't see you using that much unless you're trying to deal with stealth. Barrier or Green Lantern can use the chosen power, or Green Lantern can use the chosen power ability until your next turn. Yeah, so just looking at this, I immediately just feel a little awkward, and I'm like, this is... I probably want to walk away from this Green Lantern. Now, we look at this Batman. Now, this Batman here, he's hitting some points. Because now we have a Batman with some, real amount of clicks of life behind him for 125 points. And I just think that is a really good pull by WizKids. So, let's look. Do all the clicks have powers on them? Well, almost. We have 2 clicks that are, just blank in the attack slot, and that's fine. I think the problem comes in is his range is 0, but he starts with the Batarang. Batman may start the game with the Batarang equipped. Batman may activate and equip Batarang as free instead of ranged attack, and doesn't roll for it. So, it doesn't, and it doesn't roll to KO it. So you can pretty much perpetually have a Batarang. So I like that. So there's some good stuff here. I think, again, the situation give me Charge, Quake, the special defense, combat reflexes, and toughness. Adjacent opposing characters can't use Mastermind. Just give me that with this Batman. And heck, if you have to lower my attack to do it, that's fine. I'd rather have that than Sidestep. Just a little note. I think that just serves the figure a lot better. Again, we got another Robin, and it's like, meh. It's okay. Then we have this Joker, and the Joker is, okay. Poison Ivy, it's the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Lex Luthor is, we could have a really bomb Lex Luthor. But we have, it's okay. And yeah. So you have Diplomatic Immunity. Lex Luthor takes a maximum of 1 damage as long as he's adjacent to a friendly character. So he just says, screw you, Energy Explosion. Or Quake. Who do you think is really in charge here? Characters can't choose Lex Luthor when using Mastermind. Then he has the special power, which gives him leadership, outwit, and perplex. For 50 points, that's not bad. You get 3 solid support powers. The problem is you're only going to really be playing them on scientist teams, and scientist teams are not in vogue right now. So you're just sort of waiting for the Grand Scientist Messiah to appear. Like, real talk. Alright, let's keep going on. I wish Zeta was better, but he's not. And I wish he had Pick a Power, and he doesn't. Yeah. So anyway, we got Killer Croc, and I'm really not excited about Killer Croc. I'm more excited about the Killer Croc Batman. I think that's just fun. That figure in and of itself should be played if you played at least once in your life. I threw a rock at him, and it was a big rock. If you remember that show, that was a great line on that show. I threw a rock at him. Anyway, that's probably one of the best episodes of Batman, the animated series. Oh, man. Baby Doll, I feel, again, we're trying to solve a problem that really isn't a problem. And then saying, hey, we know we probably partially made Unimind a little too strong. So just in case he picked Super Senses, we made Baby Doll. And it's like, no. That's a bad thing. Yeah, I just don't. I don't think she's that great. But she needed a little bit more oomph, and I feel like she would have been over, and I think we would see play with her. Bane, you're just caring about the Venom Pump. That's all you're really caring about. You're not caring about much else. Like 100 points for his point cost. I don't think we are caring about Bane too much. Phantasm potentially could be very interesting. Definitely with your Angel of Death awaits. I think that could be really good. But your past betrays you, where you only can perplex other opposing characters. I don't like that. So, but you do get Powered by Vengeance, Blaze Claws, Fangs, modify attack by +2 and target only lower point characters. At 75 points, that's sort of reasonable. Alright, now we have Batgirl, Shadow of the Bat. I think this could actually be a good figure. Mainly because, again, we're looking at Clicks of Life. We're starting with Prob. Unfortunately, we have Sidestep up front. I wish we had Running Shot up front, but hey, again. I feel like design just says, like, let's just pull back just a little bit, and then let's just see how this goes. So, yeah. Getting to be able to be 70 points and have Prob and Perplex, that's really good. And it being a +1 plot point. That's good. But again, we got the problem is, like, we have a 4 range. So you're going to be slapping that Penguin fast forces for a while. The -2, let's see what Batgirl can do. Outwit when opposing... Sorry. When Batgirl uses it after resolution, she can use charge at no cost. But can only attack the character she targeted with Outwit. So you get a charge, but you have to do a -2. Then you have -3 plot points. Looks like jail time for you, bozos. Free. Make a close attack targeting each opposing character within range and line of fire, regardless of adjacency. Instead of normal damage, hit characters are given an action token. So you have like a super spray and pray in cap. It's okay. If in Golden Age you give her a sniper rifle, that would be fun with that -3 plot point. Hard Act Batman, I'm not really encouraged. Joker, Christmas Joker, yeah, whatever. Well, the Batmobile Lost a Will is that's actually pretty good. Robot Minotaur, not what I'm looking for either. This Clayface is okay, and it working with the other figures is good enough. It's just okay in my opinion. Then Man-Bat, which nobody likes Man-Bat, and I don't see him beating his last sculpt. That was actually really good. Grey Ghost. I know Grey Ghost has potential. It's just I want to dig into him a little bit more. So I can't say for sure or not. Like, yeah, let's be down with Grey Ghost. See, the problem with Grey Ghost is this. He's really good in a Pog generating meta. Then if Pogs stop being a thing, then he's not really that good. He's like okay. And that's the problem. And I find that is really annoying. he's designed to try to put a rein in on Carnage, try to put a rein in on Ant-Man after Ant-Man's been retired. The Ant-Man box set. He's supposed to rein in Penguin and also rein in Devil Dinosaur, which, in all honesty, Devil Dinosaur is on his way out. He's really not a quote unquote a big thing anymore. No one's going to look at you like, oh, you're playing Devil Dinosaur. Like no one's going to give you the evil eye. So, in the end, is this figure good? It all depends on if WizKids continues making a bunch of characters that generate a bunch of pogs, and those pogs are good. Not in the sense of you can continue making pogs and they're not like toned down pogs. I mean, like, 10 attack, 3 damage pogs. And I think if you're able to keep making them, making those type of pogs frequently, then yeah, Grey Ghost has a point. But again, like, let's look at these keywords again. Justice Society has the biggest potential out of all of them. Celebrity, no. Detective, no. Police, not really. Batman Family, not really. Gotham City, not really. So we're just dependent on Justice Society, and with Jakeem on his downward slope, there's a lot of questions to be asked. So I don't think Grey Ghost is going to be this wave creator. I do think he is going to be the ripple in the pond. I think he will cause change once there's a reason for him to be played. But until that happens, then yeah, that's not going down. Next up is Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and it's like, behold the brick. That's pretty much it. Like, here's a 125 point brick. That is okay. And that's really all I can say with it. The sidestep part of it is cool, which gives it a little bit more, really actually a lot more mobility than most other figures that we see, in the game right now. But realistically, I would prefer. I would really prefer if this was just like an 8-click dial character that didn't switch back and forth between two characters. So, all in all, like it's not a bad build. Definitely the hypersonic speed build, and the charged quake is pretty good too. So, yeah. Now we're going to go look at Zatanna. And Zatanna she's broke. You got your Justice League Unlimited, which is okay. Then you have magic powers in showmanship. You get penetrating psychic blast, telekinesis, and free generate a bystander bat, max 2. So, yay, POG generation. And TK. Then you also get Perplexed with Probability Control. Where have I seen this before? Okay, and being able to do that at 50 points and not be unique is really good. Where have I seen this before? So, yeah, all of you who didn't play back during Chaos War, welcome to the suck, because this is about to go down. We just got rid of the Teakle silliness, and WizKids was like, "Yo, let's rewind that, just rewind it back." WizKids got the heroclix to make that wallet go clap. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Day one, $50. Day one, $50. It might go down to $35, but don't expect to pay less than $35 each for Zatanna. I think you're going to see mystical teams come back-ish because of her. Because if you play a 75 and a 50, that's, yes, that is 125 points. But you have 2 perplexes, 2 probs, and you can generate 4 bats. Now, these bats are not magic. They are 2 movement, sidestep, 14 defense, 0 damage. But here's where they're stupid. They give enhancement and shape change. So they have enhancement and they have shape change. So the biggest problem about enhancement is not being able to sort of like get the enhancement to the next person. Well, you just fix that with sidestep. Oh, we got 3 bats here, and then we're just going to shuffle that bat, shuffle that bat, shuffle that bat. Now there's 3 enhancements over here. Oh, so yeah. When we actually and realistically look at Zatanna or Zantana. Carlos Zantana. You functionally need to look at her damage as 4 to 5 damage and an 11 attack. That's really how you need to look at her. So if you had a character that could be 11 attack, 4 damage for 50 points or 75 points, you would play it. Add in Mystics, and again, you would play it. So yeah, she's going to be a big deal. She's going to be a big deal. I don't expect this to make Justice League broke, but hey, man, this is Justice League's Moira McTaggart, and unfortunately, it's a super rare. Yeah, that's the best way I could put it. Ink. This is fun. I've been wanting this character for years. I don't care about anything with her. She's meta. Why? Because I say so. Why? Because I'm hella biased. This is one of my favorite villains from being a teenager watching Batman Beyond. Hypersonic speed, sidestep. If Ink occupies water terrain, she modifies her combat values by -1 and can't use hypersonic speed or sidestep. That is great. That's perfect. That gives her a disadvantage, okay? Mutagenic experiment free. Choose one. Stealth, shape change, tiny, or giant reach 2. Ink can use the chosen power ability to your next turn. Brilliant. I want that. Combine that with hypersonic speed. That's great. Shadow meld. Super senses. Energy shield deflection. That's great. That is great. So you're telling me that I can have shape change, super senses, and energy shield deflection, and when I feel like I don't need shape change, I can be tiny size, or I can have giant reach 2, or be stealth. I love this. Now, again, where is this character going to mightily show up? Only in sealed. I'm not delusional. The moment you have close combat expert like this, no one's going to really play you. 10 attack, precision strike, nobody's going to play you. Okay, so as much as I want this to be good, it's not going to be good. Alright, so let's start looking at the chases. And what I'm going to say is this. The chases are game-changing. I don't think that they are required because there are certain game elements right now and certain teams that really want to get like full sideboard for whatever reasons for other mechanics, whether it be shifting focus or ID cards and shifting focus. Or just basic replacement characters if you're doing something like Chameleon. So these characters do not fit, quote unquote, in every build lineup. But I can say definitively that you are hard pressed not to make room for them in most modern teams. And in particular, my biggest concern is Justice League is like the X-Men before the Blackbird right now. They're waiting for their moment. And if in the next year they get the Javelin, or we get a mass taxi, or just something that allows them to up their tempo just a little bit more consistently than the Justice League Unlimited trait, I think we will have some problems. Now, if you go back, and I know I'm not talking about the set, but I'm trying to set this up. If you go back and look at Elseworlds, there are some good Justice League figures. Not like rainbow magic, unicorns flying through the airs, four clovers and horseshoes and blue moons. Not that magical, but more like David Blaine magical. Like if you don't know what's going on, it's pretty good. Okay? They need a muscle or a stupid level control. If Justice League gets a muscle or a super level control that really just synergizes with Diana Prince, what was it? Diana Prince, Justice Rider or whatever, and a few other characters, and add in that Zatanna, you got something stupid this way coming. But you need to have a muscle. Whether that muscle is, hey, I hit, and then everybody, within 2 squares of that character I hit gets an action token, or something that's good. That you're either locking them down or you're doing like a lot of damage. I know some of you are going to be like, what about the Batman? The Barbara Gordon Batgirl does sort of that. No. Need Justice League keyword. So I'm setting it up where I think that these characters need to be looked at their full point value, at their call-in point value, and also in the future and how they can be integrated into the team. Because I realistically feel that these chases are going to have the potential to be really strong and set up a meta where I'm not going to say at Worlds this year, but possibly Worlds next year, I could see a top 8 team where it's X-Men versus Justice League. I could definitely see that. So let's begin. All right, let's start off with Batman. Trouble alert, come in, Batman. The whole sideline active thing. I'm going to read it just in case you haven't read it. Friendly characters have free if this character is critically missed this turn or made the third attack to miss all opposing targets. Place a character from your sideline that can use the Trouble Alert trait adjacent on. Now again, it has to be adjacent to the character that missed, so you have to be very careful about this. On its blue starting line, which is the 30 point or the lower point. At the beginning of your turn, if Batman start the game due to the Trouble Alert trait, roll a d6. On a 4 through 6, deal Batman 1 unavoidable damage. So, he can just be KO'd. Okay, they all can just be KO'd by this trait. So it's very important that you keep that in mind. So they do have some risks that you can give to your opponent. Alright. Stopping to lecture about science, my occasional weakness. Characters that can use Perplex modify attack by +2 when attacking only Batman. Characters that can use Perplex modify defense by +2 when Batman attacks them. Okay. So, you're really not attacking with Batman. My utility belt has everything, but smoke is usually best. Smoke Cloud, when Batman uses it, if he doesn't already have one, give him a worse idea token. Free, remove a worse ID token and choose a standard attack power. Batman can use the chosen power until your next turn. Why is this important? Where is Darwin gone? He's disappeared. He's gone bye-bye. Okay? We've replaced him with a cool, sleek jet. Okay? So, is Picket Power safe? No. It's not, because Darwin can come right on back and be like, hey, oblong head man here, what's up? I heard you picking powers. Yeah, it's like, it could get stupid real fast. But, you have to look at it as, you have Outwit, you have the potential for Smoke Cloud, you have the potential for Incap, you have the potential for freaking Blades. Blades, people. Precision Strike. Like, there's a lot of good stuff. You have Batman team ability, plus you have Stealth. This is good. This is good. So, I can see him starting in at $50, maybe dipping to $40 when people look at Green Lantern, and I'll get into Green Lantern later. And then when they realize, oh, a character that I can call in that can make Smoke Cloud or have Blaze Precision Strike, Blaze Precision Strike or Incap when I need it, plus Batman TA, I think people sort of come to their senses. They'll use it. Now, stopping to lecture about science, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah. So anyway, let's go. Robin. Robin is 30 or 20 points. All I gotta say is sidestep, perplex. That's really it. He has the Batman team ability, and you have sidestep and perplex. You really, I don't, for 20 points. Going back to what I was saying about the Justice League and just paying 20 points for perplex, Robin is going to be very, 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 very expensive. He's going to be cheap because folks are going to look at the help, I've been captured again. When Robin is KO'd, you may choose an opposing character of 30 points or more. If you do, for the rest of the game, when the chosen character is KO'd, generate a 064 Robin on his blue starting line into that character's square. So you could get him back. And he can perplex again. Yes. Being captured, my occasional weakness. Characters that can use plasticity modify attacks by +2 when attacking only Robin. Characters that can use plasticity modify defense by +2 when Robin attacks them. So what? He is chilling in the cut saying, you get a perplex, you get a perplex, you get a perplex. So, yeah, two of these Robins on the Justice League team, yeah, you're going to start seeing that. So again, starting out, he's going to be $35 because everybody thinks he sucks because he's Robin. Okay? And then when they realize that your Justice League team can all of a sudden have this perplex, then they're like, oh snap, I messed up. Either that or they figure out how good that Superman Batman is from Elseworlds and then start using stats and stuff to try to start using the perplexes and stuff to try to make him better. But that's more of a B minus C plus type idea. But anyway, Aquaman. The freaking Aquaman. Okay. Shout outs to you, Pat. You stuck by Aquaman all these years, dude. Shout outs to you. Pat, my local Pat. Alright, so let's look at his second trait, having to do stuff on land, my occasional weakness. Characters that aren't occupying water terrain, which is almost everybody, modify attack by +2 when attacking only Aquaman. Characters that aren't occupying water terrain, modify defense by +2 when Aquaman attacks them. So just about everybody. So they get the hint that Aquaman is pretty much pointless. Another trait, I'll use my undersea telepathy. Power, generate the average fish bystander. That's fine. Aquaman, special power. Go deal with the watery crisis over there. Generate up to 6 water terrain markers in distinct squares within 4 squares. Each adjacent to the last Eats adjacent to at least one other, and at least one marker must be adjacent to Aquaman. At the beginning of your next turn, remove the water terrain markers. Free. Generate an average fish bystander in a square with a water terrain marker placed by Aquaman. Yay! Yay! Okay, so let's look at these fish. They have 2 movement, 8 attack, 14 defense, tiny size, and force blast. Force blast. I hate to say it, it sort of emphasized how stupid Aquaman is. Now, normally, I would be like, maybe I could make that work. Okay? Maybe there's some secret tech with these fish that makes them interesting. And initially in the back of my mind, I was like, well, they could tie people up. And if you tie people up, that's always useful. But then it's like they're tiny. So if you're a standard size character, you're already a +1 at breakaway. And if you're a giant, you just get up and go. But when we get to our magical pack and we look at Force Blast, it says knockback, power, roll a d6, target adjacent opposing character, and it's knockback equal to the result. My question comes in with the current wording of knockback. Would a tiny character be able to knock back a standard character? Because if so, then we have value. If not, this is completely pointless. And it'll be completely pointless in the future. So that's something that we have to look at. But setting up these fish to potentially ping pong around people, that could be pretty good. Definitely if you can get, folks off at elevation and you're playing, heroclix pool with your opponent's figures and knocking them off of elevation and making them take damage. So, yeah, potentially good. Not something that I'm really looking forward to. The question comes in is how are you going to maximize mind control and empower? That's really where I look at it. You can maximize the water terrain, but you're playing him on an Atlantis team at that stage. And he's already main force. Next up is Superman. And Superman is coming in at 40 points on the low point, 100 at the high. I really can't justify 100 points on the high end, really. I don't think he's that good. He has given me that lovely 7 clicks, though, that I've been wanting this entire time. But unfortunately, he's not that good. So he has force fields, my occasional weakness. Characters that have energy shield deflection get +2 attack, blah, blah, blah. Alright. Spinning around them super fast usually works. Free. Choose an opposing character within 5 squares that has no other characters within 1 square of it. Destroy all pieces of blocking terrain adjacent to that character, and roll a d6. Give that character an action token. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Because you could just do that from safety. Okay. So, here's the other thing I like to point out. If you try to save somebody by burying them up, using barrier to protect them, Superman just says, screw all that. I got that. I got you. I'm going to get rid of all that. So, this is okay. Will people play this? Maybe. Okay? Maybe. And then the main reason I say is that when you do this thing, you have to roll a 4 through 6 to potentially put a token on them. So you're a 50-50 shot of getting a level of control. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. All right, next up is Wonder Woman. She's 30 points on the low end. Then you have her getting tied up, and then if you have TK, the +2 thing. Okay, so we're aware of that. All right, giving the Super Friends a ride in the Invisible Jet, even Aquaman, hypersonic speed, which you get at top dial. Passenger 2. Wonder Woman may carry one same-size character with the Dolphin in addition to any other carried characters. She's not carrying flyers. Okay, that part sucks. But she could carry potentially 3 characters. Yeah, she would, and I think that's the question is would she functionally be passenger 3 because of her power? And that's a question because the power is open-ended where it says Wonder Woman may carry one same-size character with the dolphin symbol in addition to any other carried characters. So that's the problem. Because it's plural, and you have passenger 2. Lasso of Truth to capture them all at once. Free. Choose an opposing character within 5 squares in line of fire that has a character adjacent to it. Roll a d6 for that character and each character adjacent to it. 4 through 6 give the character you roll for an action token. This is good. Again, it's that 50-50 chance to put that action token on them. But yeah, it's worth it. Is Diana Prince worth it at 70 points? Yes, to carry your grounded Justice League members around. Is she worth it at 30 points? Yes, because she's providing you a cheap leadership and the ability to token folks up. Again, I will come back and say that there are some situational things with her. I see some folks will be like, oh, well, it's okay, and I really want Green Lantern, so I may pick her up. So she'll start off at 50, dip down to 40, and go back up to 60, maybe stop at 60. Be somewhere in between 50 and 60. If you can get her for cheaper, then go for that. Yeah. Next up is The Flash. Waiting for unspeeding people. People with sidestep get bonus against him, so we'll just use it like that. Sometimes I can fly. He gets hypersonic flight, passenger 0, hypersonic speed. Excite high-speed molecular action. He gets telekinesis, pulse wave with a range value of 4. Is this good? The answer is yes. For a bring-in for free. It's really good. Because now I have a prob and I have a flying hypersonic speed. That is magical. Okay. So I've been missing all this time. I could definitely use a prob. So I definitely like that. Again, flying hypersonic speed, this guy's going to start at $50 and just stay. He's not going to go less than $50 in my opinion. Green Lantern. So yeah, here we go. Let's break this down. The color yellow. Characters playing yellow power on their combat dial. They get a +2 against him. Okay, great. Cairo, my Venezuelan Venison sidekick. Okay, once per game, generate a Cairo bystander. For the rest of the game, Green Lantern may carry that character in addition to any other carried characters. So, Cairo has support and defend. So, welcome to the new Tony Zuko. Golden Age players, were you not able to get a Nightwing with a Tony Zuko pog? That's fine. That's fine. You can spend the money, get a Green Lantern. Alright, so why is Green Lantern stupid? Well, for starters off, for 30 points, I get TK plus enhancement plus barrier. And sidestep. And flight. At higher points, he has phasing and TK, and he gets the super buddy. But, realistically, take the super buddy out, and you just look at him at 30 points. That is stupid. That is stupid. Okay, to be able to have that much control come in. TK for mobility. Enhancement for damage. Barrier for defense. Like that's too broke. So yeah, Green Lantern starting at 60 to 70, gonna go up from there. The only way I see him come down is if we get competitors on the Marvel end that do this. And I don't see that happening until Fantastic Four comes out. Real talk. Next up, I say that nonchalant, and then someone's going to be like, Dark Logos knows something we don't know. And it's like, nah, man, I'm just guessing. Next up is Apache Chief. Yeah. For those who know about this, he functionally can just get infinitely bigger. A nutchuck, free. If Apache Chief has standard damage, he gains giant. If he has giant, he gains colossal. If he has colossal, give him big man token. For each big man token, increase his giant reach by +1 and modify attack by +1. When Apache Chief attacks a character that is giant or colossal, modify his damage by +1 for each big man token. Apache Chief size can't be changed by other effects. So Mxyzptlk can't come around and be telling you like, oh, you think you're a big man now? I'm going to make you a small man. So, yeah. Why is this stupid? Because there's no limit to your big man tokens and there's no limit on giant reach. So you can just keep increasing your giant reach. Up and up and up. This character is worth it at 50 points on the Justice League team. Because from turn 1 to the end of the game, if the map is open, you functionally could just punch anybody anywhere on the map and you're +3 attack, +3 damage. You will give your opponent an incentive to come after Apache Chief. If you could get 2 Apache Chiefs, that's even better. Now, I know someone's going to say, Dark Logos, that's a bit excessive. Why would anybody do this? No one's ever going to play that. Blah, 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 blah. But realistically, yeah, it makes perfect sense. The fact that if I can get, let's just say I can even get up to, on that, let's just say I'm lucky. I get up to big man token, and I got 5 big man tokens. They haven't been after the Chief, okay? Apache Chief can charge for 4 and hit 5 out. That's a 9 swing. That's stupid. And he quakes. He's going to hit every opposing character within 5 squares. So yes, this is stupid. So yeah, they're going to errata him. They're going to limit his giant reach to +3. There, I only see that happening because if they're not going to let you go, and you have the equivalent of like those commercials where you ever see like the guy standing on the planet, like Apache Chief will get that level. Like if you just let him, he's a guy standing on a planet, okay, and in the outer space, he's saying a nutchuck with no oxygen, and somehow he doesn't kill us all. Okay, next up is the Atom. No one really is going to play this one, so he's going to go for stupid cheap. But here's how I look at the Atom. Number 1, he's a nice little cheap pulse wave grenade at 50 points. And then at lower points, you have to figure out how you're going to carry him around because get him around because he has Battle Fury. So he's more useful as a, hey man, I've been missing too much against these shape change dudes than anything else. Okay, he has super senses and he has a special power which says he super senses in tiny. So if he comes in on the 20-point dial, he's going to be tiny. He's not going to be standard size. But at his 50-point dial, he has leadership, outwit, and probability control, which is great. Now, the question is that when you look at his 20-point dial, it's like, all right, how am I going to maximize this? And the answer is, look, I'm going to have objects everywhere and have a character that generates objects. And I'm just going to have this sucker charge around, pick up objects, and punch people in the face. That's pretty much it. So I definitely look at this as helping with your Avenger spam. Justice League spam. Alright, next up is Firestorm. 80 points. I really can't really justify the 80 points. But I can justify the 40 points. That's rainbow magic right there. The freaking Lucky Charms Leprechaun is giving Firestorm a high five. Okay. Sidestep. Energy Explosion. Toughness. Prob. 40 points. Good, decent stats. A little bit of mobility. Some probability control. He gets that potential to use the Perplex. When Firestorm uses it, he can modify a value except damage by +2 or -2. So that's a nice little mini control in there. So yeah, definitely usable. Next up is Hawk Girl. Unless hers is not getting screen time, my occasional weakness. Unless Hawk Girl attack is first during your turn, characters modify defense by +2 when she attacks. Characters modify attack +2. She is not going to go for much because that is very, very limiting. Because it's like Aquaman, like almost everybody is going to tee off. So if you're in a position where she has to attack first and it's not the best thing to happen, yeah, that's going to suck. Which really limits her for being played normally. So this chase is probably going to go somewhere between $25 to $30. In spite of the stats being good. She also has the power action, generate an average bird bystander. If no friendly characters are within 4 squares, generate 2 instead. And they have flurry, tiny, 9 attack, 1 damage. Really not worth it at all. So yeah, let Hawk Girl go. She's going to go for cheap. Next up is Hawkman. Sidestep, combat reflexes. He has people who don't fly, my occasional weakness. So pretty much whoever doesn't have flight gets +2, and he has +2 defense. They get +2 attack against him and +2 defense when he punches them. So then he has a power action, contagious laughter via pun at the end of the episode. Power, roll a d6 for each adjacent character. Give that character, or 4 through 6, give that character action token. Again, not as good as Wonder Woman because that's a free action. But you're able to get more characters. So, yeah. If we go look at the starter, we look at that 100-point Batman. That's a 100 points. You're getting me. Like it's really hard for me to argue against it. At 50 points, that's a no-brainer. Play that sucker. But again, you have the keyword problem. Batman family, Gotham City detective scientist. He has that grappling hook. Choose a square within 3 squares in line of fire that's on a different elevation than currently occupied. Place Batman in that square after after resolutions. Batman may make a close attack. Now, why is this stupid? This is a free action that allows Batman to be placed in the square, and after resolutions, Batman can make a close attack. Now, I need to find out how they're going to rule this, because does it benefit me? Like, if I haven't made an actionable, if I haven't did a tokenable action this turn, could I do an attack? Can I do an attack if I have 2 tokens? If I attack and then do this, can I attack again? Or if I use this attack, can I do a normal attack? So is the whole thing free? If the whole thing is free, this is money. If the whole thing is not free, then we got to have a different conversation about them. But at 50 points, this is a really good Batman, so I like it. Then we have Robin with the swing line, which, all honesty, I like the Robin a little bit better, mainly because you have exploit weakness. So yeah. Then you have the Joker at 75. What's it going to be, Bats? Catch Me or Save Gotham. The Joker takes a maximum of 2 damage from an opponent's attack. When the Joker takes damage from an opponent's attack after resolution, generate a standard light object named the Joker Bomb within 4 squares. At the beginning of your turn, heal the Joker 1 click if there are 1 or more within 4 squares. Heal the Joker 1 click or 1 or more unheld the Joker Bomb objects on the map. He can't be healed any other way. Protected Pulse Wave. Now, I'm really glad that they had this he can't be healed any other way, because otherwise Thunderstrike in this figure was about to be the new Undying. Then you have, you'll never see this one coming. When Joker attacks, if his attack roll is doubles modified, damage by +3. Ouch. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So you really could just focus on attack, realistically. So I like this character. Definitely a winner. Catwoman, 50 points, charge, exploit, giant reach 2. Yep, this is okay. Harley Quinn, Ain't We the Greatest? Perplex. When Harley Quinn uses it, if she does not choose damage and targets a friendly character named Poison Ivy, Catwoman, or the Joker, modify the chosen value by +2 instead. This is good for call-ins and with the evolution of the Blackbird. When you add in the Harley Quinn ID and the Joker ID to the Blackbird, then yeah, this is going to be a good figure. Yeah. So overall, if I'm looking at this set, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. And it's this. This is a B+ set. It has a lot of good elements in it. It also has a lot of things that we need to sit back and maybe, meditate on a bit. Get the chakras aligned, get the crystal floating in front of our forehead, open up that third eye a little bit, see into the great white landscape of the Matrix, and talk to Morpheus. Because, unfortunately, I don't see anything in here directly that's just like, and yeah, that fights Unimind. But there are enough things right now that we've designed that says, and yeah, that fights Unimind. Where Unimind has enough matchups where he's struggling or he just loses. Okay? So this set doesn't necessarily need to solve that problem, because we as players within the last few sets have solved that problem. The issue that I have is, what are we trying to bring out into the game as an option that's a competitive option? And realistically, Batman Family is not it. Even though Batman Family has a ton of really, really solid pieces. But it doesn't... If this was 5 years ago, these characters in this set would be deemed broken. All the Black Batman Family characters would have been deemed broken. And the main reason that would have been considered is that they have a high amount of utility. They're not super mobile, because at that time we didn't have a lot of hyper taxis, but you're able to get access to some degree of mobility. That's reasonable using TK. Now in the world of hyper taxis, I move my entire force downfield, and now my Wolverine and my Cyclops ID call-ins are super pimp, and you just have to suck it. That's a huge detriment. So can I justify this set as it is and be like, look, man, there's really not a Batman, there's really not a Batmobile like object vehicle that one of the Batmans created. Like I will kid you not. I kid you not. The Elseworlds Robin And I need to, and I better check to make sure, because I'm about to say this, and I feel like I'm going to say something and I'm going to be wrong. If Elseworlds Robin has the Batman family team ability, that Chase Robin, then yes, we have the figure that's going to help save the day. Okay, it does. Okay, it does. And you're able to generate a Batwing, and a Batwing has Passenger 2, and you're able to generate a Bat Cycle, and it has Passenger 1. Okay? So, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay? In particular, when we start looking at the Batwing, we got some decent mobility. It's not charged up level, but it's decent. All right. So, that Robin, its price is going to go up, because with all of these Batman figures, you're telling Unimind, look, man, you're going to kill 2 of us, but you better not use. If you use a perplex, we are going to strip everything off of you, and then we're going to run up and then precisely kill you. Now, you can say, but I have a lockjaw, and I have the pop-outs, and I have all this other stuff. Yeah, that the fight begins there. I'm not saying Batman is going to just auto-win, but Batman family has a chance. Where I am more looking at is Justice League. Justice League, Justice League, Justice League, Justice League. Zatanna changes the game. She changes the game. 2 of them is too much of a swing. It's way too much of a swing. That Chase Robin, 2 of them is a stupid amount of swing. You start adding in Justice Rider, Wonder Woman. And I know some of you will be like, well, what did she do? Why is she so good? So Justice Rider Wonder Woman is 70 points. She has running shot, 10 attack. And I know some of you will be like, but Dark Logan should be crapping on 10 attack this entire time. Think about this, man. I just said a handful of characters, and I have 4 perplexes. And then she has this damage special power. Okay, she has that high noon trait. And it's pretty much if she is the last character with this trait to hit an opposing character with a range attack until your next turn, if the hit character makes a range attack, Diana Prince Justice Rider must be one of the targets. She pretty much has a built-in taunt to keep your piddly Justice League super friends alive. Okay, she's not super deep. She's not super deep, but it's good enough to take one Unimind Kamehameha, in the face. And maybe you can get some protection for her. But okay, then she has new sheriff in town. Diana Prince, Justice Rider, can use leadership. Unique. Modifier. When she does and succeeds, other friendly characters that share the keyword with her modify their attack and defense by +1 until your next turn. That includes herself. Oh, no, except herself. If you have 2 of them, then they can overlap. But here's the thing. Diana Prince, Justice Rider, rolls leadership. Gets it. I know it's a 1 out of 3 people. I get it. It's not going to be all the time. All of your Justice League characters now have an 11 attack. All of them. That changes things. Oh, look, I have Zatanna, and I have 2 Robins. So now, my 2 Zatannas are going to go, Swickhook, which is screwed backwards, okay, and then summon 4 bats. And then Green Lantern is going to get his attack perplexed up and his range perplexed up to stupid. And then those 3 bats are going to sit around him, and he's going to blast somebody for 6. Why? Because he can. And then you know what's going to happen? They're going to sidestep over to Wonder Woman, and she's going to blast somebody for 7. Now, I know, again, y'all are like, Dark Logos, you're on that stuff, man. It's not that good. And I come back to you and I'm like, all they need is a javelin or a better taxi. And that Chase Wonder Woman is not bad for the taxi. Okay, and then just to emphasize this, we're going to go at her again. Okay, and we're going to look at her top dial at 70 points. She has passenger 2. She has passenger 2. She has hypersonic speed, so she's not bad. She's not great. She's not bad. With passenger 2, and she's able to carry functionally 3 characters. So you're able to carry 2 other characters and Aquaman. Big whoop. Okay, cool. So you can find maybe another Aquaman or another character that's good for you to use. And then definitely in Golden Age, there's good Aquamans. Okay, so that's really not a problem. So when we're really boiling a lot of things down, we still have access to, and I'm just looking here at Justice League here. I'm going to list off some Justice League characters that are modern legal, quote unquote, that are really solid. All right, so let's start off. The Fast Forces, that Fast Forces Flash, the number 05 Flash, 45 points, hypersonic speed, 10 attack, 3 damage, 19D, PD ability, so he's useful. Diana Prince Justice Rider, Green Lantern, he has the Green Lantern team ability, so he's going to get a whole ton of your grounded Green Lanterns around. So there you go. Here's our Green Lantern up bus. It's our party bus to get us out there in them streets. Okay? Let folks know that the Justice League is here and they don't suck like the movie did. Too soon? Too soon, DC fans? Too soon? The DVD just came out. You gotta admit that the whole entire Justice League is worthless and Superman proved he was better than all of them. Kryptonian supremacist right there. Kryptonian supremacist. Anyway, Kid Flash. This is another great control piece. Oh man, I hit your Unimind because I had 3 perplexes and I have a 13 attack. Oh, cool, you missed your shape change? Alright, I'm going to shoot you. Okay, yeah. You gotta come punch me. You gotta come shoot me. Unimind, you can't shoot my about-to-die Batman. You can't shoot him. You gotta shoot me, Unimind. Come after Kid Flash. Oh, hey, I'm over here, behind walls. Your only weakness. Yeah, like that's yeah, right there. It's solid. John Jones. Hey man, you gotta attack me. Oh, but I got shape change. I'm wily. I got shape change. Okay, you have Green Lantern. The power battery is draining one. He has running shot, pulse wave, 3 damage, 60 points. TK. I love this piece. This was my dog last year. You could not get me to not shut up about this dude. He is great. Okay, you got no one's gonna play Pete Ross. You got no, definitely not a world without Superman, Batman. You have the number 01 Batman. Batman can use Perplex. Unique modifier, he may use Perplex to target all other friendly characters within 4 squares and line of fire, choosing the same single combat value other than damage to modify. Okay, we have the Ray. Yes, we can't modify any of his stats because he's a Kingdom Come character. But 11 attack, 4 damage. We have Diana Prince, that the super rare that has the knives coming out. Nobody really likes her, but she's still good. Okay, there are a lot of figures. A lot of Justice League figures in that Elseworld set that are good. If you want to go big, you can go with Flash God. I wouldn't recommend going with Green Lantern or Shazam. You can go Lex God if you... well, no. Don't go Lex God. Go Wonder Woman God. Go Wonder Woman God. Watch somebody crap a brick. Yes. Okay. Let's break this down real quick. 8 clicks of life. 9 movement. Not that great. Not that great. Okay. But look, we got other Chase Wonder Woman to carry you around, or we have Green Lantern. We are still in this. All right. You have opposing characters within 6 squares and lower points can't use Outwit. You shut down all those little Maury McTaggart punks. Okay. Never give up when a friendly character of 50 points or more is KO'd, which is a good some of your team. Give her a determination token when Wonder Woman would be KO'd if she has 1 or more determination token. Instead, turn her to click 8. Then remove all determination tokens and heal her that many clicks. This chick comes back unless she's pulse waved. Caught between Dark God and Anti-God. Modified damage by +2 when attacking only characters with the deity keyword. Not as useful-ish in the meta, I know, but still. Opposing characters with the deity keyword modified damage by -2 when attacking Wonder Woman. This is good. We have the support she needs. Hell, I'm thinking about getting one off of eBay right now. All right? You have Big Barda, who isn't bad. A little expensive, but isn't bad if you don't want to go up to Wonder Woman status. I understand. Okay? But you can use her for 100 points and turn her into a bomb. Okay? So, and then we can't even forget, like, we have all of the Starro minions. Like, we really haven't fully unpacked those yet. So, oh, hey, man, here's Superman Starro. 8 clicks. Charge. Flight. 10 attack. Super strength. 11 attack. Super strength. 18 defense. Invincible. 4 damage. My Will is Starros. Superman. Free. Choose one until your next turn. Flurry. Or improve movement. This character can move through blocking terrain. Immediately after movement resolves, destroy all blocking terrain moved through. Oh, wow! For 125 points, I can have a Charge Flurry Superman. Oh, wow! I can perplex my Charge Flurry Superman's attack up to a 14 because I got freaking Robin and Zatanna. Oh, wow! I feel, what's that? Is that, oh, wait! Off of Rick and Morty. Yes, this is stupid. This is stupid. So, am I going to be like WizKids? They thought this from the beginning. No, I'm not going to give them that much credit. But what I am going to say is this. Justice League is on the come up. Justice League is on the come up. The question comes in, how are they going to compete? How are they going to compete? Are they going to be brute force and up in your face and just do not care? Are they going to be controlling and rolling D6s and hoping to double token you up and make you take pushing damage? You know, making it so that you have fewer and fewer options? Like, are they, you know, like, are they going to go the route of X-Men and be like, yo, we can summon things in too, and we have a crap ton of perplexes too, and we can make Cyclops hit for 6 damage and shoot from 11 squares away too? Like what is the plan? And I would argue the revolution that this set has given us is that we can now free ourselves just enough to go back to the original theme of the game of playing with the superhero teams we love. And I never thought we would be here. Never thought we would be here. and it's not. I'm not saying this is like some like Dark Logos uses a profound epiphany voice just to get people to keep listening because it's over an hour long, and he should have cut this a while ago. But functionally, as a team, the Justice League is good. They have more than enough options to take on most of the game states. And you have enough different ways to play Justice League and enough core staples to make various types of Justice League teams. The concern that I really have is this is a Batman set with Justice League sprinkled in. And everybody's like, oh, this is a bunch of weak Justice League. But I don't think a lot of people see the big picture with Justice League right now. I really don't. And I think that's a huge problem. And it even sort of took me a moment to just think about, okay, is Justice League good enough to take on Avengers? Is Justice League good enough to take on Unimind? Is Justice League good enough to take on X-Men? Is Justice League good enough to take on cosmic teams with Star Fox or Thor or Tigra? And I have to say, potentially yes. But I think there are some elements that we need to shift back and think about and ask ourselves, like, how much of this, maybe too much of that, no more than 100 points for a if we have one character that's 125 points, everybody has to be 50 points or less. So that we could keep, our maps. Or we're going to add in Super 8 Pogs. Or we're going to add in Mudman. We're going to be expanding how we're using IDs. We're going to have Justice League characters in our main force. But we're also going to have Justice League characters on the sideline. We're still looking at shifting focus. Well, maybe not anymore. I'm sorry, I was wrong on that one. There are just too many elements that we could just come back and say, like, oh, snap. Justice League got what it needed, which was those 25 point and less characters and some mega supports. And with the Starro coming out, hey, PJ, remember my Starro? Thank you very much. Thank you, PJ, my teammate and good friend, buddy, old pal. Thanks, PJ, for getting me a Starro. Yeah. I think the Starro minions come in and change the game even more once they're legitimate and you get them in hand. There's just too much that they do for you to ignore them. Like, I can't ignore Starro Green Lantern. Oh, at 50 points he can have TK or Energy Explosion. I just get to pick. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore Starro Wonder Woman. Oh, hey, yeah, she can use Blaze, Claws, Fangs, or Plasticity. Oh, hey, yeah, that's a thing. Oh, and she has 11 attack at 125 points. And the Superman at 125 points can get Charged Flurry. And Batman can come in at 100 points and is 8 clicks deep. And he has the ability to use Incapacitate or Smoke Cloud. Like, I can't ignore that. I really can't ignore that. I can't ignore... Looking at this Power Woman. She's not bad. Okay? I really can't ignore her. Even with all of this support, you can make freaking Plastic Man decent. You have access to Red Robin still. You have access still to KC Hawkman, who is okay. You have access to Boxing Soups, who is stupid still. So, I mean, definitely at 75 points. Definitely at 75 points. Oh, I have Flurry and 3 damage, and now I'm going to be a 6 damage and Flurry, and I got TK bombed up. Yeah, that just happened. Oh, I got Superman TA. Hey, what's up? So, I'm optimistic. When I finished initially when I started the review, I'm like, this stuff is worth buying, but I don't know how much. But it's definitely an improvement. And if Kenny had as much his foot in this pie as some people say, then bravo, Kenny. Good first set. Props to you, homie. I look forward to your future outings. I like the cut of your jib, and I like to subscribe to your newsletter. I do have qualms, be sure, but this is a better set than we've had in a while. I can't look at the set in totality and be like, everything's, unicorns and sunshine and Skittles. But when we start looking at a bigger narrative for the game, which I'm hoping we're looking from a design perspective, it's both macro and micro. From a micro perspective, the set is fine for sealed. It's great for sealed. From a macro perspective, it has a lot of great elements that can integrate with the rest of the game. And I see some potential for certain theme teams to come about and be better. But the game is about mobility. So unless you're able to create... I hate to say it, for a team to be viable, it either has to be hyper mobile and aggressive or able to bunker down better than anything else. And we do not have a bunker down option. Defensive players like me are sort of out of this format currently until we get a control element. And Justice League potentially could be that control. I'm just not quite sure. Batman definitely with the title characters, but I'm not quite sure about Justice League. But I do think Justice League is about to be the new hotness. I really do think that. But unfortunately, just like X-Men, it's not going to be cheap. I think we're going to be looking at $800 teams again, just to get the chases that you need. And just going through this, Batman is goodish. Robin is definitely is mandatory. 2 Robins are mandatory. Aquaman is goodish, depending on the ruling on the average fish. Superman could be a control. He could be a okay control / attacker. Wonder Woman could be really good. Flash is really good. Green Lantern is really good. Apache Chief is stupid. No matter how you slice it, Apache Chief is stupid. He is potentially, from my perspective, he is going to be one of the huge cruxes of most Justice League teams. Is going to be Apache Chief. He just does too much. The fact that you can get him, if you could keep him alive, the fact that he can get +3/+3 and infinite punch, literally an infinite punch. Yeah, that's a problem. The Atom, questionable, but again, if I spam a bunch of little dudes at 20 points, that can have an effect. Firestorm, coming in low points with prob. 40 points prob and can attack with decent range. You know, Hawk Girls making us some little punks to tie folks. Not even, well, never mind. Just making little punks. Hawkman with a potential mega control if he lands the role. So, and again, hell, Zatanna. So, all right, I better wrap this up, or else I'm going to keep rambling. I'd like to thank you all for listening. I know y'all probably listened, came back, listened to part 1.5, had a sandwich, came back, listened again. We're like, woo, man, I did 5 workouts. This is a 2-day stretch. Oh my gosh, Dark Logos, I hate you so much. And then you listen to this last bit and you're like, you know what? I feel pleasantly refreshed after listening to this. I have a Coke and a smile, and I think I'm going to be quiet. All right, so if you want to find out when the show goes up, you can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me, you know those like blue aliens that you see in Daft Punk? They're real, but the music isn't as good. It's just not as good. You can find out when the new show is up. You can also come back at me and retweet my tweets to other people so that they too can know the goodness of heroclix and my perspective. Huzzah! Also, shout outs to happy little heroclix. He got to, I think, 1,000 subscribers. So props to him, sir. One day I hope to be as big as you. Anyway, you can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com if you wish to opine. Keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. There are some people that sent me some emails. I'm going to have to tackle it next show. Definitely the guy gave me the Mystics question because, I did 2 sets and some thoughts. So unfortunately, I can't comment on your email. You can also donate to the show at startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. On my inactive tomb, there's a Requiem that plays, and you can donate to the ferryman. And as it drives down the river Styx, it will give me your tokens of appreciation that I use to buy equipment and make these shows better. And then also, if you'd like to support the show, you can go and click on the link below, and you can get a Starting Over Podcast t-shirt or a Phoenix Nest t-shirt. Generation 2 t-shirt. So, yeah. All right, that's it. I'd like to thank you all for listening. It's been a lot. I never thought I would say freaking Justice League can be meta. Or in quote the words of Patrick Yapoko, Justice League can be competitive in a meta-scape because the meta is all the things that is competitive. Anyway, that's it. I'd like to thank you all for listening again.